someday for to eat.
What the heck?
All rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, thank you. And Bruce is out of town this evening, so I will try to muddle through this agenda we have. The first item is a public hearing for the 2026 tax, property tax, personal property, and real estate tax. From the information we have, and I'll let Trish or Kelsey do whatever to talk about it, it is a .0028 cent increase over last year's, and that's, I think they said, by the state, they do a reconciliation and let you know whether you can increase it or decrease it, and it will only generate $1,128.01. Trish, do you like to?
Actually, Kelsey, if you just want to read your memo there for the public, that'd be fine.
Yeah, like Dolores said, the state increased our tax rate ceiling this year by .0028. And then the rates are to be set for general fund at .3637, park at .0095, and band at .0103. Which comes to a combined total rate of .3835 per $100 of assessed valuation. And due to the total assessed valuation decreasing by $64,287, the total revenue increase equates to only $1,128.01 for the year. The total tax revenue generated for this year is $188,017.69. And down below you'll see it broken down. The general fund with $178,310.38. Park with $4,657.54. And band with $5,049.76.
And the assessed valuation is they're assessed, the county assessor does the assessment of all real estate and personal property. So that's really out of our hands, we don't do anything there. Okay, does the alderman have any questions, concerns, issues?
No.
Okay. Does the audience have anything, any comments? No comments? Okay. I guess that closes the public hearing.
Yeah, the ordinance is on your agenda.
Yeah. Okay. Next item of business is the mayor's report. I only have a few things. On behalf of the mayor and the aldermen, I would like to thank everyone for attending and participating in the fundraiser for the wall mural ceremony to honor Mason Griffith and Adam Silitrop. Our thoughts and prayers will always be with the family of Mason and with the continued progress of Officer Silitrop. It was a very hot day. The only other items I have are the apartments along 6th Street are really progressing. It's fantastic what they're doing over there. And the only other thing is, it's my understanding, and you can correct me, Trish, if I'm wrong, the NB West has subcontracted the storm sewer work for the 2025 26th Street projects to Centerstall. Is that correct? But I have no idea when they're going to be starting.
So, thank you. I did just get an update if you want me to share it.
Sure.
Yeah, the stormwater structures that we've been waiting for, that have been backordered again and again, have come in. And so KJU is in town. They're starting with just the stormwater. They're starting on 13th Street. And then
The
they're,
storm one's on East 13th Street, right?
yes. And then they'll go to Bear Road, or again, we're just talking about the stormwater, and then Sand Plant, and then 5th and Schiller. And then when all that is done, then they'll start the paving.
I've seen him doing some work there at Fifth and Schiller this past week.
Yes, so ironically enough, that's where they were going to start, and they ran into a problem. Again, the old maps didn't have accurate information, and Jason's going to have to move a water line. Yeah.
Do we have engineering, well, you do have engineering plans for all of these projects, correct?
Yes.
And the storm sewer is not going to affect the traffic to any heavy degree? Maybe on sand plant roads and such.
So Jason and Jesse took, since it's been so long since we did this out, they met with the contractors again and took them around Friday, I believe, to all the sites. And traffic's one of the things they discussed. The sand plant is access, one ingress, one egress, so they have to be mindful of that. And the 72-hour notifications out on Bear Road, because they will have to close that road for a couple days. And they're, notifying the people who it's affecting.
So the entire road is going to be closed or just one side at a
That,
time?
the end closest to H. Yeah, while they're doing the stormwater.
Okay.
When they're doing the paving, they can leave, I think they can leave part of it open.
Okay, ma'am, that's all I had. City Administrator report?
Okay. We have our sales tax deposit for the month, and it's wonderful. It's 12% over the same month last year. Not sure what to attribute that to, but we'll take it. It's great. I had told you a few weeks or months back that we had a building code update meeting, kind of a kickoff meeting. Well, now the building inspector is getting down into more of the granular stuff, and he will be hosting a meeting here with some local contractors on August 13th to go over some more of the details.
So we need to update ours to the 2021 or what is it?
Yes, thank you. We're going from 2015 to 2021. Yeah. And then the most recent code is 2024, but Franklin County, I don't think it's even gone to that one yet, so we're just staying on their heels. The pool, made it through pool season. It closed this Saturday, the 8th. We do have, our pool company has recommended a company that specializes in leak detection. And they are coming later in the month. It's going to cost about $1,500 for them to do their special leak detection process. But hopefully that will result in us getting an answer and then finding out how expensive the repair will be. But we need to get that repaired for next year for sure. I do have a couple of public works updates. The gas department, the crew were able to get the new gas meter and corrector installed at Middletown Station last week. They're still seeing a lot of locates rolling in for the development up by the interstate. Water department, they have been painting all the internal piping in the well houses along with the exterior of the industrial well building. They're also planning on replacing some services this week. They were also this morning, they were back at the base of this hill. They were back there, they had the little mini excavator and they potholed like in 7 different places right at the base of the hill, all along the back of City Hall. And that's going to be part of that analysis for the drainage issue that the engineers wanted. In the sewer department, they were able to do some, the cameras, used the camera, that's like a made-up word, used the camera on some lines last Friday in some troubled areas. They had a main breaker on one of our lift pumps at Gutenberg failed and burned up on Thursday. So the individual was out and diagnosed the problem. They've got the part ordered, and hopefully they will have that back in working order this week. Streets were super busy for 2 or 3 days last week after that storm with the winds, all of the limbs, the trees down. I don't know if you've noticed down at the amphitheater, it's so sad, on the 5th Street side, one of the healthy trees split. And shade is such a priority down there and in limited supply, so it's terrible to have to lose a tree, but we did. So yeah, they did a lot of cleanup after the storm. And yeah, talked about the storm structures and the order those are getting repaired. We did a lot of advertising in the last couple of weeks for the street foreman. We advertised in like all the local papers and all the surrounding papers. Not much interest. So if you know anyone, Rattlesome Cages, we'll do another round of those in a couple weeks. But yes, I was hoping that would definitely generate some interest. And not
Were you
much.
posted on MML at all?
Did we do that one yet?
I don't think so.
Maybe it was, okay, yeah, we'll do that. I'm trying to think of, MQA, I don't think they do streets, but MML would, so, we'll do that too. The park maintenance position, however, after an 8th-month vacancy, I'm happy to report that on your agenda. We have a gentleman to be voted on. I'd like to always remind the public, if they're watching, all the special events for September and October that are coming up that use park property need to get all their special event applications and their licensing into us as soon as possible, so we don't run into any hiccups there at the end. And some meetings. I attended HRED last week. We have a meeting this week with a certified local government rep, and that's related to landmarks. I have the chamber meeting, transportation advisory committee meeting, a fall TAC, and then the MRPC meeting. Thank you.
Keep them busy. We don't have any public comments that I'm aware of. Is there anyone who has any old business that they would like to discuss? Any aldermen? The only thing is the city working on updating the job descriptions for the city clerk, the finance officers association, finance officer clerk, finance clerk, and the city code 160.010 and 160.020?
I took all those notes from our last meeting and they're on my to-do list, but no, I
Okay.
haven't done it.
Okay, but it is in the,
I haven't even started looking at them yet, but they're in my basket of things to do.
okay. And I guess the only comment I'm passionate about the city investing as much as they possibly can into a CD. Had we invested at least $700,000 of our $1.6 million for the 7/8 sales tax, for the last 2 years, we'd have probably made at least $15,570. That's just for that one item. I just think it's important for the city.
Yeah, we don't normally have that much. If we had known that money was going to sit there that long, I agree we could have done that, but we didn't know how things were going to get drug out and that money would be sitting there. So Tammy closed out all the monthly, her monthly process. Takes about a week to get through, and then today she was off. So we will look at, I don't know if we'll get to it this week, but next week for sure we'll look at those investments like we talked about last meeting.
And that's all I had under old business. Does anyone have anything under new business to discuss?
Underneath new business, I would like to, and I got copies you can take them and pass along, I would ask that we look at our chapter 210 in our code book surrounding weed, debris, and vegetation nuisances. I had received, and I know all of us have some
Can I give that to Kelsey?
some concerned citizens around, if you go on social media, junkyards developing. And this is an ordinance, I think it goes back a decade or so. But I'd like to see if we can update it. I've read through it multiple times. I know, top of my head, I could point out probably 24 pieces of property that would fall underneath this. Some are residential, then we get into some businesses. But I would recommend that this kind of pertains to cars and trucks. I think we need to include, and Dave can put the wording in there, but any equipment that is produced to be operated with the aid of a motor, which would be a tractor, lawnmowers, whether it be push mower, riding mower, because I have seen a lot of that sitting in front yards and backyards of houses. If you drive up and down the alleys, I know there's 3 or 4 houses that's housing, I would like to call them derelict vehicles, meaning that their license plates are expired, probably undrivable, and the weeds in some of them are taller than the cabs of the trucks. So they're 8 foot tall. You can't hardly see the vehicle, but you know there's one in there. But I'd like to address this so maybe we could clean Hermann up a little bit more. Get rid of, because some of these are off the beaten path. One down in particular, 900 Gellert Street, down in Sheepers Branch. I know that one house has 3 vehicles and a boat that's been sitting there for 10 years, not moved. They do keep the grass cut, but those vehicles are sitting there. Then one on different alleys, there's vehicles been sitting there for 3, 4, 5, 10 years. There's one house in particular on East 8th Street. I've been told it's been vacant probably close to 40 to 50 years. Grass is cut, but the trees have grown up right beside the building. The siding is starting to fall off. And probably each one of us, as we drove to the meeting tonight, drove by 2 houses that need some attention. We're right here at 16th and Highway 100. So I would suggest we prohibit, my definition of derelict vehicle is a vehicle that's not licensable or undrivable to be stored upon properties within the city of Hermann, front yard or backyard. If it's and I looked at different city ordinances, if they have a project vehicle, one that they're working on, that's fine, but it must be garaged out of public view. So if somebody's restoring a vehicle, that's fine, but be able to close the garage so it's not visible. There again, we have some residents got lawnmower parts and tires and wheels stored in them. It's not specific in this ordinance. So I would like to narrow it down and probably get the input of the chief and our code enforcement officer, where maybe they have more leverage to go after and try to clean up the properties.
So are you talking about just derelict vehicles? Because I was going to ask what we were doing with the derelict vehicles. But that is not really, there's another section, there's another code that deals with derelict vehicles.
Okay.
So this one, you're just talking about
Well, I
basically the
could
weeds and
see if we
debris.
could, well, it does mention in here that 7 inches in height of the grass, rubbish, trash, lumber not piled or stacked more than
Yeah.
12 inches, rocks, bricks, tin, steel, parts of derelict cars and trucks.
Oh, that's just parts.
So
There are
that's
other-
what maybe we can include that into one ordinance instead of having 2 ordinances. is what I'm thinking.
On this
I-
particular code as well, the enforcement is upon the responsibility of the building inspector, could be enlarged. More of a enforcement umbrella than just the building inspector, because he only works for Hermann part-time.
Or his or her designee, so we can designate anyone we want to, I would think.
I think Marlon may have something to say.
Okay.
I mean, the ordinances now, like I said, the derelict vehicles, you're allowed one inoperable vehicle on the property that's not licensed and inoperable. Any more than that, then like I said, I can send a letter to them advising them they need to remove it, or it can be issued a summons. Any property that's with a debris or a mess, again, that's something, if I get a list, then I go by and look at them and document it and send a letter saying, clean up your property, you got so many days. If not, then you can get a summons issued because your property's a mess. So, I mean, there's ways I can do that. If there's ordinances, I can do that now. If I get a list of stuff that's in violation, then I'll send letters to everybody and look at them.
Doesn't the code enforcement officer pass things on to you that he doesn't get results from his letters?
Usually, if it goes through him and that's done, they can pass it on to me or whatever needs to be done. If we got a bunch of them, we'll start getting on. And like I said, send letters to them or start issuing summons if they're cleaned up.
That's why I thought code enforcement officer looked at it, then he passed on to you where they're located. And
Yeah, I haven't received any for a while, so if he hasn't got any or whatever, like I said, if not, then I can go look at them or whatever needs to be done to start cleaning them up.
like I said, I've received some citizens concerned about different areas. Most of the derelict vehicles are surrounded or on residential type properties, but also that we have issues of some farmer businesses that are falling into this category too, where possible mold growing on the outside. If it's growing on the outside, it's growing on the inside. Probability, roofs caving in, that we should address that. And I know the city of Hermann, by ordinance, we have a health department, which is made up of the board of aldermen. And I guess somewhere along in the past, I know that when I first started the old trailer park, there was like 4 trailers up there that had posters on them, condemned. And that might be something we have to look at if these people don't want to clean their properties up, condemn. And I know some of the ordinances that we have in some of the other cities that if it's not cleaned up, then the city can clean it up, charge, they call it as a special tax, to that property tax. And if they fail to pay that, then that's just handled as far failure to pay property taxes on
So
that
lien
property.
on the property.
Yeah.
But it's my understanding that if someone calls the city and gives a work order, that goes, and it's dealing with weeds or what have you, it would go to Bob first.
Yes.
And then Bob tries to send letters out or do whatever and work it out. And if he can't, then it goes to the chief. And if the chief can't get a result, then where does it go?
Well, you write tickets, and then if they don't pay their tickets, I guess it goes to the,
Report, you
Okay.
know, take care of the matter, then they issue a summons, and then we report after somebody not apparent, then they issue a warrant. I mean, so hopefully they get a letter from me saying you got so many days to take care of it, I'll issue a summons. And once they get a summons, hopefully they'll start taking care of it. If not, then just keep issuing summons to them, I guess. or take them
So
to court.
do you think we need to change this ordinance 210?
That's why I was wondering, do you have enough grip?
I mean, if I go buy property and it's overgrown with weeds and debris and trash and derelict vehicles, I mean, that's enough for me to look at it like your yard's a mess, like clean it up. And you got 10 days in order to, show you're taking improvements, and if not, then I'll issue summons that you just don't care.
It says it right here. The bottom part, violations of the, I would think that would cover what he has to do.
So do we not need to include other motorized equipment such as lawnmowers, tractors, because it's not specified in here. It just says derelict cars and
I
trucks.
thought they were addressed somewhere else, but right now I can't tell you where.
I couldn't find anything. I knew this one, I looked it up, I typed in
I think it's
nuisance.
the one that Marlon's quoting about the inoperable vehicles.
Inoperable vehicles, debris, I mean, there's a couple of them that I can right under that. You know, just looking at the yard, they have broken parts and everything just in the yard, looks like a junkyard's a mess. I mean, that's enough to stay cleaned up.
The definition of vehicle is pretty broad,
Mhm.
you know, like riding mowers or ATV, I mean, it's, so.
I know 3 or 4 years ago, we had an issue, we passed an ordinance, no one residing in like a camper, RV, recreational vehicle, something like, something along those lines. But that was just residing.
Yeah, where people would plug their RV in their driveway and someone, they'd rather rent it out or live in it.
Yeah.
So we
So-
passed an ordinance prohibiting.
Chief, do you think we need to sit down and review this?
Well, we can,
And-
we can see if we need to make it more specific or
Make it,
whatever we need to do, we can, and make sure there's enough leverage for me there to, whatever I need to do, we need to sit down and just go over it more thoroughly. Just add stuff to what we need to do to change the code and stuff.
And I know we had one particular house burnt down 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. I understand, I think it's been sold, but is it gonna sit another 2 to 3 years? And a house right beside it, supposedly somebody's living on the front porch.
that wouldn't be covered in
It's
here,
not covered.
in this, would it? The whole that was burned?
How burned is it?
I was told that
It's-
our building inspector said it was unsalvageable. All the studding and foundation was bad. Only way to do it was to tear it
Well,
down.
we've got a dangerous buildings ordinance
Yeah.
procedure where it can be declared as such, and it comes here, and then you give them an opportunity for hearing and all that, and then we can knock it down if all the steps are followed. And then charges, lien, and so forth. So, but I think a review of the code related to your concerns to see if things are covered is a fine idea. And, you know, we're talking about issuing summons and bringing them to city court. That's an option, obviously, and probably the better one. There's the abatement opportunity as well. Go in and mow the weeds or the grass or take all the stuff. We were in probably a long forgotten by most people lawsuit many years ago when we did that, if Dolores remembers it, I'm sure. That we won, but it was lots of wringing of hands and gnashing of teeth, you know, because you go and take people's property, and of course, it's worth $1 million to them.
One man's junk.
Yeah, that's right. And we didn't store it anywhere, we just pitched it in the dump, I think, and sawed it all. But that's a super aggressive option, obviously. You probably never get paid, but if you just want to go clean it up.
Do we want to form maybe a subcommittee of 2 alderpersons and
Sure.
meet with chief?
And I think the code enforcement officer,
I-
Trish, or whoever else wants to be in there.
I'll nominate myself to be part of that committee.
Go along with that.
And you'll serve on it?
I just think we need to button this up, make sure the chief and code enforcement officer has the right
Tools they need.
literature to move forward.
Yeah, but maybe 3 out of 4 of these nuisance properties fit under our current code, and I wonder if these complainers ought to just call our code enforcement officer and report them and have them go inspect them and at least start the process
Well, I think it, oh, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but
with the slam dunk ones. that we
I was just
already
gonna
have.
say, I think, checking with the code enforcement officer, maybe before we do anything, I know he's addressed some of these things, and I know he keeps files on them, so finding out where he's at and what hiccups what obstacles he's run up against might be helpful.
I know.
The committee can, be willing to set on that, Chief?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know code enforcement officer sends out letters, I know sometimes he doesn't get responses and get the situation cleared up.
Well, and then, as Chief was alluding to, I think, and then Chief sends a letter and they don't respond, and then you serve them with a summons and their court date comes up and they don't show up, and then, you know, they end up in the municipal court system for months, and, but meanwhile, the mess is still there,
Mhm.
right? You know, so, it's worth looking at, I think, to see what aggressive options we have.
I think both of us will work together and we'll figure out a meeting
Set a
time
date,
with,
yeah.
with Chief and Bob.
That'd be great.
See what kind of input they have and how we should move forward. We'll get Mr. Police to
And make sure
Yes,
you
sir.
you also, besides the weeds, address derelict
derelict
vehicles.
vehicles. Yes. I got it down.
Thank you. And thank you for serving in that subcommittee. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Thank you. Good idea.
Okay, since no one else has any new business out there, we will move on to ordinances. Dave?
The ordinance on the agenda for this evening is Bill number 2026-32 for first reading, an ordinance setting the 2026 annual rates of levy for ad valorem taxes for general municipal purposes, establishment and maintenance of free public parks, and municipal band purposes.
And this is the same thing that we just had a public hearing on. The rates are the same. Okay, do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Alrighty, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Do you need, I know it has to get to the state.
We've got time to do the second reading at the next meeting.
Okay. Great, thank you. The next item of business would be minutes. Under motions. Anybody have any corrections, changes, questions concerning the July 27th?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And we have the invoices for payment. Does anyone have any questions regarding the invoices for payment?
I'll move we pay the bills.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And now we have the park worker, Nathan Stars, is it?
Stas, and I'm
Stas?
sorry, it should say behind there, hired him as the park maintenance worker.
Okay,
Think it'd be a full-time or part-time or?
Yes, we're replacing a full-time position.
full-time.
Yeah,
So we have 3 full-time
yes.
people working there.
He'll start when?
I think Wednesday.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve new park worker. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And we have reappointment of Susan Langer for the Port Authority.
Oh, sorry, we have, it says point authority, that should be port authority.
Port Authority. That's okay, we know what it is.
Question around that, not again, nothing to do with Susan, but did we get, did she, whoever, before it was Chad, could we get a update from when they have meetings or something?
They don't have regular meetings.
No, not very
They're
often.
far in
Kind of one the
between.
whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there is one coming up, so yeah, I'll
But
be
at
sure
the
and.
school coffee, I know
remind her.
Dr. Neal's, because he's on that as superintendent, he had mentioned that Herman could probably qualify for some money to go towards our streets through the data centers up there on,
Yeah,
that sounds
that's
like a winner. And,
But the streets that the trucks are driving on are really not city streets, they're state
Right,
highways.
sure.
It's
But
all state highway.
I know like in Rhineland, the volunteer fire department's getting money, and Big Springs Fire Department is getting some money, so. and
So,
They
yeah,
got money to
there's gonna be
hand out.
opportunity, there's gonna be opportunities.
There's money being handed out up north.
So I'm just suggesting maybe
Wouldn't be
we
a bad idea if we
get our spoon in the pot.
Yeah, we've already, that's on the front burner.
Because hopefully we'll draw some employees to move to Herman and fulfill the new apartments that come along. Okay. I'll make a recommendation that we reappoint Susan to the court authority.
I have a motion to appoint Susan.
I'll second.
Authority, and I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The next item is conditional use permit renewal, outdoor liquor consumption, 114 East 4th Street.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And there are no issues with the police department as far as we know in this business. Okay, Jim, you said you're making a motion.
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And we have a special event application, City of Hermann Tourism Department. For Christmas time in Hermann, kickoff celebration from the Information Center, Amtrak Station, from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., November 14th, 2026. Were they going to have a food truck there to sell baked goods, or what are they?
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure. Tammy listed this supper time bakery, but I have not seen her this last week. I don't know the last time she's been in, honestly.
After the success of the big boy coming to town, I'm sure this is gonna be great.
Well, I was just curious on what they were going to be doing.
I'm pretty sure there's a radio. There's a radio gonna be here at that same time. I'm pretty sure I've heard that.
That sounds right.
Yes, like the
I'm
St.
sorry.
Louis radio station coming here and do like a live remote during this event also.
Well, there wasn't too much
No, there's not much
info
on
in
there.
this application. I was just curious, but I'm not against it. I just was, it was a fantastic idea.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And we have one other item that we need to add. The electric department bid that was just turned in to us. The low bid is from Fletcher Reinhardt for $15,853.70. And it's my understanding it's just for material and supplies.
Yeah, the electric department does a big order every year about this time, to replace their inventory, so when they're refreshed, for the new year. So it's just a whole bunch of little to, wire and different types of bolts and little pieces of connectors and all kinds of things, like 6 pages of detail, but it's just their day-to-day materials.
And this is the lowest bid for this
Yes.
bid. And we have bought from Fletcher Reinhardt for quite a few years, so I don't have any problem with the low bid.
I make a motion that we approve the low bid.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the low bid. Roger Reinhardt for the electric supplies. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And we do have the reports in your file. Anyone has any questions regarding the reports? Is it possible for us to get a copy of the minutes from, like the Landmarks Commission and,
They're supposed to be getting emailed to you all. Aren't you emailing those out to?
I have not seen anything from.
Yeah, all the boards and commissions minutes should be getting to the Board of Aldermen, so can you make that happen? Okay.
If we could get them, that would be fantastic. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Okay, if nothing else comes before the meeting, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank everybody.